So I'm trying to remove the factory drip rail molding here on the Roadrunner, and it's a real slow, painstaking process, but I'm pretty much got this little hooked screwdriver, and I'm really carefully just going along it, prying it up, and not trying to actually bend it out too much, and just working it out. And like I said, we're just being real careful along this little edge, not to curl this up too much, and also not to pull too hard back here on this side. Just slowly working it. Some of the cracking you're hearing is the old seam sealer that they put in this seam here on the drip rail. It's just this old kind of dried up crusty stuff. That's all going to get replaced anyway. So now I'm going to get this old seam sealer out of here, and it's kind of dried up. It's pretty cracked, and there's a seam here where the body part, or the upper skin of the roof meets the lower skin of the roof, and you can kind of see right in there the lower and the upper. And before I continue removing the remaining pieces of this quarter panel, I want to actually get the rest of the interior finally taken out, which it's been long overdue. So these door panels, the door handles, knobs, sill plates, carpet, this front seat, headliner, all this stuff is going to come out real quick. So this way I'm not going to worry about messing any of that stuff up, and I can continue working metal and not actually have to worry about hurting that stuff. And I'm staying organized as I do this and labeling all my parts too. This way we know where everything came from. All right, let's get this door panel separated. Well, that was easy. And you can see where someone had actually painted red paint over this thing. And look at that. Probably came from maybe a swap meet or something. Someone's labeled 70 Roadrunner GTX with buckets. So this door panel is not even original to this car, and you can kind of see where the red paint underneath it was. So we'll hang on to these for a set of spares in case we ever want to slap together a beater version Roadrunner or something, but for now, coming out. And this upper trim right here is just screwed in, and then this plastic moisture barrier will come out too. Once this is out, I can kind of get behind the door and up in here and kind of try and help get my situation fixed up top with these holes, which you guys saw from the outside. I can hold a piece of metal in here from the backside, hold that piece of aluminum or copper from the backside, and then I can weld from the front with the MIG and actually fill these holes. Do a nice job. All right, so when we're talking about how we're gonna fill these holes, right? You can see my finger right here covering this up from the inside. So I'm reaching in with this little chunk of aluminum. Aluminum is a dissimilar metal, so it's not gonna stick. So as I weld from the front side, I'll back it over here with this chunk of aluminum, and just like that, hold this in, and then just zap it and carefully control my heat. And then before you know it, those holes are gone, and this thing is looking like new. Okay, now that piece of the upper door panel trim is off. This moisture barrier, make a new one, save it, I don't know. And this door is actually in really good shape, both on the inside and the outside. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of rot on it, and there's really not many dents. Just that one little vertical dent up front that you guys saw that we fixed, so it's pretty good. It's actually a pretty good door. Cool. Let's get the sill plate off. And then even though this hardware here is kind of a little rusty and crusty and old, I'll get some new ones for now, I like to still take them like this, maybe tape them together, keep them with the sill plate. So this way I know everything that I took apart, what it used to have, in case I ever want to reference it and say, hey, what did this thing get attached with or whatever, and then I can remember down the road what these screws look like when I go to buy them. Stick them on over here. Now I'll grab my Sharpie. 69 Roadrunner passenger sill plate. Boom. Now put them in one of my shelves and keep it stored and organized until I got to put it back on. Just noticed as I was rolling the window up and down, there appears to be a tooth missing here on the window regulator, because it'll kind of go and catch and it's not really functioning smoothly. So I'm going to pull this thing off and see what we can figure out here. There's just 3 bolts holding it on, and then probably this lower arm that goes down here to the lower channel on the window. And get this door handle off again, and that's pretty much it. Now I can slide this lower arm out of that channel, clear this real quick, and we slide this past down here. Go that way. And now we can figure out what's going on. And I'm just manually lifting up the window with my one hand, and I'll pull the regulator out through that hole. And there she is. So somewhere inside of here, there must be a tooth missing, because you can hear it kind of chipping away every time and kind of missing. So I've got it over here on the bench vise, and I can instantly see right down in here on the little gears. Teeth of the gears from the handle gear, they're totally... Just got really lucky there. This thing came slamming down under its spring pressure and luckily just missed hitting me. So don't do that at home, because these teeth here, right inside this area, are totally all stripped out. Yeah, you can see right in here that those teeth are pretty much gone. And that's why every time you're rolling down the window handle, this thing is kind of snapping and skipping and missing a tooth or so. And that's something, I've actually dealt with that issue on my Coronet, my 67 Coronet before too, so that lends air to exactly what's going on there. So I'm curious now if the driver's side is actually good or not. Okay, the driver's side is actually pretty buttery. That's cool. The rear needs a little grease, but no teeth are missing, so I think we're good then. We're just gonna need the passenger one replaced, so that's not too bad. We can get one ordered.